Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another unit overview for the Revamp Expansion Mod for Supreme Commander 2. Wow, I need to shorten that intro sometime. Ugh. Today we're taking a look at some Illuminate Class 1, or as I like to call them, minor experimentals. I'll only be taking a look at 2 today. There are another 2 to cover in a later video. I chose the 2 simplest ones because this is kind of a trial. I won't be doing the usual format when discussing the experimentals here. So please bear with me. Give me your feedback down below in the comment section. I love to read that shiznit. As always, this is version beta 1.0. So everything I say here is a lie and will be not what is represented in-game a couple months from now. No, I'm just kidding. But yes, take it with a grain of salt. These things may be subject to change in the future. Not drastically, but, you know, balance-wise. Obviously, the research tree is unlocked for me having these units on the field, and I won't be talking about adjacencies when discussing build times, okay? Don't test me on those, please. Alright, let's hop into the action. Oh, the Zun game! Alright, I'm gonna butcher these names, by the way. Who the Illuminate obviously were on crack when naming their all their units, not just their experimentals. Every single one of them make no sense. It's great. So the Urchino is what this is going to be called, okay? The Urchino. Coming in with 334,400 hit points, a health regen of 500 points per second, and a land DPS, a curious land DPS, and I'll get to why a little later. Land DPS of 32,000... God damn it! Values. Think. Read. Go. 3,259 points. Okay, cool. It's a hover unit. It looks sick. It's got multiple guns on it. It's awesome. It's an assault block. And for some reason, all the Illuminate experimentals, or most of them, have these like little spines on the back. I kind of like it. I thought it was just the Universal Colossus, but no. Even the other experimental we're looking at today also has these spines. It must just be some sort of their power generation or something. Anyway, second unit we're looking at today is the Air Nomo, is what we're calling it. Coming in with 201,600 health hit points, health regen of 500 points per second, a land DPS of 3,800 points, and an air DPS of 4,800 points. Okay, so why did I mention curious? Now, this may be because beta and because this new tool that has been coded in is, you know, it's new, that some of the values are not correct. Now, this is primarily an air not air experimental, but anti-air experimental, okay? It has 6 awesome anti-air components on it, okay? And for its land combat, I don't know, it's just got these little cannons. So it's got 4 sets of cannons on it. Doesn't really seem like it would do more damage than this assault block here. It's an assault block, okay? It's got lots of stuff dedicated to land, so that may be just a typo, or not represented properly, or who knows. If it's correct, if it is to be believed that these are the actual values when in combat, I haven't actually tested them because would take me quite some time and I'm a lazy man. There would be no reason to get the Urchino other than wanting to assault across water. Just saying. And to back that up, we're going on to Section 2, build times, from the experimental Gantry Warp Pillar, because it costs more and takes longer to build than the Air Nomo. So the Urchino comes in at 8 minutes at 33 seconds for build time, and the Air Nomo is 7 minutes 34 seconds. So not a huge difference between the two when comparing experimentals, which we're not doing because that's just asking to be scrutinized later on. And as for, it's pretty across the board, a pretty standard build time for a Class 1 experimental. When we get to Class 2 experimentals and whatever this is, Enders, coming soon in a later update, they're going to be very, very long build times, okay? And some of them already are. But that's they're game winners, guys. They're game winners, okay? So, for build times, yes. The Air Nomo wins. There, that's the only comparison I'm going to make. So moving on to Section 3. Section 3, that's this key here. Movement speed and turn rates. Okay, so this took me a little while to figure out because these things move so damn slowly, and I had to get them, as you can see, I had to line up as close as possible the rally points or the patrol points. But as it turns out, the Air Nomo is faster. Not by a lot. Like this difference here, this video has been going, well, kind of since I started. It takes a while for this to gain, for the Air Nomo to gain this much distance, so it's not very useful information when traveling, okay? They'll pretty much move at the same speed if you group them up, well, they will, but if you're moving them separately, this will move slightly faster. Oh my god, do those flags have physics? To fly in the air? Oh, that's cool. Obviously, they have physics. Okay. As for turn rates, they are pretty much identical, unless I could... Well, I could slow things down, but they are pretty much exactly the same for turn rate. So not a huge difference for movement at all. Okay, and Section 4, my favorite section, fire range. This is not the right key to hit. Fire range and arcs, okay? Now you may be wondering why I've got two sets of experimentals lined up here. Well, some weapons that are on these experimentals fire depending on what range they are at. So not all their weapons can fire at their maximum range, as seen here. So we'll start off with the Air Nomo, firing at its max range, only seems to fire one of its guns. Now it does have 4. Now don't let this view confuse you. It does have 4 cannons for dealing with land. There's 2 at the back, 2 at the front. They each have a 180-degree arc of fire. Okay, so these ones at the front will never fire at the rear. So that's why it's got those on the back, okay? Now, I assume this would be for this side here, that when firing from the behind, that sounds weird, it will fire its right hand also at its max range, okay? As for its other hand, the left hand doesn't want to fire. I don't know if this is a bug or it's done on purpose for balancing, but it only fires at half range. And I assume that'd be the same for firing in the rear. God damn it. Firing towards the back. There you go. Alright. As for all the anti-air installations on top of these, we're looking at 360-degree range of fire, no problems there. So this thing is primarily meant to deal with air units, okay? Air units. Cool. As for the assault block, the Urchino, firing at max range, it fires both its main cannon, as you can see on the top here, and what seems to be these little rapid-fire interchanging beams here. And will only fire its 2 little artillery, I guess you could call those little... oh, there goes the camera. These little artillery installations here at just over half range. Or it might as well be half range, because they are further back than the front cannon. So, also at half range will fire its other 2 cannons. Now, as for arcs of fire... They can pretty much all fire like right up close. They have no problems with that. The main cannon on top can fire 360 degrees. The front interchanging cannons here, as you can see, the four cannons here, can only obviously fire in whatever direction. So it has to be looking this way to fire this way. It can't go and fire that way, defying the laws of physics. As for the little artillery installations, they have... I went and tested this out. They have about 270-degree arc of fire. So they do turn inwards like a V shape here, but they don't go and completely go to the left or right, okay? So just something to note. Not that hugely important. So, yes. And I would assume... I don't know either. I'm just going to assume that because it's mainly an anti-experimental, that the anti-installations can fire at this max range. If not, well, that's just disappointing. Anyway, that's my rant over. Let's quickly do a summary. This thing hovers. They've got no special abilities. Neither of them have any special abilities. So, if you're dealing with someone focusing on air, you're going to want the Air Nomo. Easy. No hard decision making there. If you want to travel across water and surprise your enemy, with your other hover land units per se, go for the Urchino. That's all I'm going to say. I do suspect that it does deal higher DPS. I'm pretty sure it would deal higher DPS. So if you're looking to deal with mainly land enemies, go for this. Obviously, when in battle, you'd want a mix of the both, because they're like husband and wife, honestly. One's looking at this anyway. No, not gonna say anything. Okay, so pretty much that wraps up this video. Let's go. Let's cut to the, damn it, there it is. All right, cut to the lovely ACU. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. You can find links in the description to where to find the mod and all that great jazz. Like this video if you liked it. Dislike it if you disliked it. I'm on the up and up, or maybe disliking it myself, because lots of interchangeable things I can do with this video. Actually, scrap that. Don't dislike it. Like it because you love the sound of my voice. Like it because of the sound of my voice. That's gonna do it for today, guys. Subscribe for more content in the future and more unit overviews. And I'm gonna wish you all a good night, because we all have to sleep sometime. A peace! Beautiful.